Is there actually a particular technology created within Intel Corporation that was designed from start through to the end with the thought of protecting the environment?
You know, it's actually interesting in that it's embedded both in the way that we operate, and you know, again, here in terms of the picture, the label we use for that is sustainable manufacturing. So actually, since 1994, Intel has had a completely transparent footprint and reporting on what we do in terms of environmental impact. One of our founders, Gordon Moore, who's obviously most famous for Moore's Law, the doubling of transistors every 18 months in terms of microprocessors, also is a very, very strong environmentalist, and he incorporated that into the company's culture. So from the way that we actually fabricate the semiconductors all the way through the products that we're delivering, we're incorporating a concern for the environment in terms of our footprint, but probably more importantly, the energy consumed by our products. So Moore's Law is most famous for delivering incremental performance in that cadence of every 18 months, but it's also delivering phenomenal energy efficiency with each generation. And that's important because if you look at Intel's environmental footprint, and you look at just the operations piece of it, and then you compare that or put it in the context of the energy consumed by the products we ship, our products consume about 4 times as much energy as what we use, or our total carbon footprint for our production. So the impact that we have on reducing the energy consumed by the products is much more important, higher impact.
And how do you think the end product consumers ourselves who use your products in daily life, sometimes without realizing that, to what an extent do you think you can manage to educate us about the little things that we can do to help you along the way so that you don't see your efforts being wasted by the consumers?
I'm very, very glad you asked that, Monica. One of the things that we're working on, and one of the reasons I came all the way to Stockholm, I live in Oregon in the US, so it was a long trip, is because we want to get the word out on the actions that people can take with regard to the energy consumed by computing. So computers have just grown dramatically, obviously, over the last 20 years. And we've just done that with a primary emphasis on performance and delivering more work and driving adoption and reaching more and more people with the benefits of technology. We've now come to the point where computing registers in terms of energy consumption and carbon dioxide production, and it's time to start paying attention to that. And that's true in the data center, where companies can take actions to implement best practices, implement technologies like virtualization that will allow the consolidation of lightly utilized servers into single servers to consume less energy. But also for just individual computer users, one of the things that we've realized is that only 10% of desktop computers have power management settings turned on. And this is a crazy thing because power management comes with your PC. When we're using our notebooks, we're worried about our battery life, so we're worried about the power management settings. But the moment it's plugged in, we stop paying attention. So we at Intel, along with World Wildlife Fund, Google, and a number of other companies, have formed an organization called the Climate Savers Computing Initiative to get the word out to people to do just 2 simple things. One is turn on power management, and then the second is the next time you buy a computer, whether that's a notebook, a desktop, or a server, buy the energy efficient model. And we have a product catalog where you can go and look to make sure that the model that you're considering is energy efficient. And by doing just those 2 things, we can reduce carbon emissions from computing by 54 million tons a year.
That's amazing.
It
That's
is.
absolutely, and I tell you what, it's extremely annoying, that whole power management thing, because your screen just goes black after a minute, and you have to keep touching the pad, and I tend to turn it off, but I might just change that after this interview. I'm a Mac user myself, but you know, I understand that it's okay.
No, it's very okay now.
Good. So it basically is just that little step of turning on, you know, the power management tools on any computer.
On any computer, that's right, whether it's Windows or Mac OS.
And you can feel yourself more green than ever before.
That's right, and it's, you know, we've conditioned ourselves to turn off the light switch. Now we
Yeah.
just need to do the same thing for the computer.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and thank you so much for coming from Oregon. I think that's a great sacrifice you made.